Welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Lebbing, and I love seeing business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs have massive success in their businesses. Are you ready to reach a higher level in your business? Are you looking to rise to the top and break through the barriers that are holding you back? If this is you, join us on the Mind for Success podcast. Welcome to the Mind for Success podcast. Today, I am super excited to introduce my friend Jackie Hug. Jackie has, her business is Credit Defenders. She's a personal and business credit specialist. I would call her an expert. I've heard her talk on the subject a few times, and I would put her in that category. She is the owner and CEO of Credit Defenders, and her husband are serial entrepreneurs. They've got multiple businesses, so lots of business experience behind her. And so this is just interesting side note, they even owned a food truck and they just sold that. You said back in December, right?
Yes. Back in December. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, I'm excited to hear what you have to offer to the business owners and the entrepreneurs that are out there today, because definitely money and managing it and credit is a huge topic. And I know you're going to give us a lot of value today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. Yeah. Money, you definitely can't get away from it. It's everywhere you look.
Absolutely. So before we dig into some questions and you giving us, some of the things, tell us a little bit about your business and what you do, maybe why you started.
Okay. Well, like you said, we're kind of serial entrepreneurs, but I have a long history in general, just with customer service. I've been in a customer service industry for a really long time. Left the corporate world in 2017 to join my mother-in-law on our food truck adventure. So we had some family recipes and we wanted to start a food truck. Hard business, let me tell you. Lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of fun. We definitely had a lot of fun, but it was an adventure, and I wouldn't, doing that with her was once in a lifetime kind of thing. And we had so many great memories from that. And I really love cooking. So that's one of my hobbies that I enjoy. So being able to cook for a living and come up with these recipes to, share with other people at these events and do things, it was really fun. So after COVID, and we decided to close the food truck, my husband has a real estate investment company. He's been doing that. I think he opened it in 2017. So he's been doing that for a few years, and was just trying to figure out if I was going to join him in the real estate business or, start my own business. And we kind of came up with, he was struggling with finding someone to help other people with credit that he was working with. He works with a lot of people that go through, foreclosures and tax auctions and things like that. And then he would try to help these people find somewhere to live for the next step in their life. And they don't have good credit and couldn't get places to live. And he's like, I really need somebody to send these people to. And once upon a time, I had some not so great credit of my own when we got married and stuff, and I fixed my own credit. And he's like, well, have you ever thought about fixing credit for other people? And I was like, well, no, I really haven't thought about that. But now that you mention it, I think that's great. And I was like, let me do some research and look into it. And got started and kind of fell in love with just the fact of being able to help people, overcome sometimes a system that's not always fairly put to people. Sometimes some people have more control over what happens to their credit than others, and to help people be able to overcome that and then go on to, get a home and move on with their lives is really fulfilling. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can tell you love it. I've heard Jackie speak, and your eyes just light up whenever you talk about it. So for the people that are listening on the podcast, they're not seeing that, but I mean, you do light up when you talk about it. So you can tell it's definitely a passion.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, it's so misunderstood, right?
Yes.
On many levels, there's so much misinformation and it's misunderstood. And some people think that it's going to be out of their reach when really it can be, some small tweaks or things, and credit is always something that can be rebuilt and redone. It's not ever gone forever. It's not. You can always rebuild it. You can always recover from it. So that is one of the perks of credit. It's not like something happens once in your life and it's just never, no rebuilding or whatever. So it's definitely something that can be built upon and changed. So
yeah, and I think that's important for people to know. So, and speaking in that, because I know we talked about this a little bit before, what are some of the obstacles mindset wise that you have to deal with when it comes to, because I know you work with personal people and you work with business owners.
Correct. Yes.
Are they the same kind of mindset problems, or are they different? Because we could talk about them separately.
Yeah. I mean, I would say mostly not.
Okay. Okay, so let's go to the personal side first, and then I want to hit more on the business owners since that's really our audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with personal, it really just comes down to a lot of it has to deal with the shame and the guilt, and then just ignoring the problem or just not knowing altogether what to do about it. So they abandon the issue. But like I said, or being afraid of debt as well. There's a lot of people that I speak to that they were just raised to believe that credit is evil and that they shouldn't touch it, shouldn't look at it. So it's really a big mindset shift deals with that as well. Like if somebody contacts me and they're like, well, how many credit cards do you have? Well, I don't have any credit cards. I don't want to touch a credit card. I don't want to look at a credit card. Well, unfortunately, if you want some credit, you have to build credit to get it. So it's kind of getting people out of that mindset of I have to be in a bunch of debt to have credit, not being able to, control what's going to happen, when really you're actually more in control. So.
Yeah, good point. So and with business owners, how is that different with some of the things that they're, I guess, needing to overcome when it comes to credit and rebuilding? And because I know it's a different thing. I mean, there's definitely been times where I didn't have the money in the past to invest in my business. And, I used credit to get what I needed so that I could. Yeah. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's another thing. And it's with business owners, it's usually one way or the other too. It's like they're either have a full concept of understanding that sometimes debt is needed. Almost everybody that starts a business goes into debt some way, shape, or form, because unless you just have a stack of cash sitting there that you can just start your business, that's not going to be most people. So some way, usually you're going to have to go into some kind of debt to start building a business, even if you bootstrap it of some sorts. But it's going to take some investment. So you kind of have two sets. You have one that try to avoid all the debt as much as possible, and then you have the other ones that are just full-fledged in. So you want it to be somewhere in the middle, I would have to say. It's just you want to be able to compromise and know how to leverage debt, but not let it get out of control to where you're building your business. And also, with business owners, I always want to say you don't want to abandon your personal credit to start your business as much as possible. You need to leverage your personal credit probably at some point. So don't neglect that. No, don't neglect your personal credit to, start your business. Try to keep that or get that situated first before, if you're going to be starting a business, focus on getting your personal credit where it needs to be. Therefore, when you need money and funds to start your business, they're going to be much more available to you. And it's going to be a lot easier to, get your business credit built as well, so you can fund your business.
That's awesome. That's good advice. So I know we talked about this too. So what's a mistake that business owners tend to make in regards to credit?
Well, number one would be abandoning their personal credit or neglecting it to start a bit. I see it all the time where, they pay their business bills before they pay their personal bills. Their personal takes a hit.
Yeah.
Or they're putting, using their personal credit and money for the business. Really, honestly, from the beginning, separating that stuff is going to help you by far. Make sure you get your business bank accounts, get separate business credit cards, which your personal credit can help you get, but then you're not losing the utilization or credit usage. It's not going to impact your actual personal credit score. So really just that not separating business and personal, I would say that would be the biggest thing that I see. You really want to do that right from the beginning when you get started, just as the same as you would open up a website, your LLC, your EIN, and all that kind of good stuff.
Right. And I would imagine that's probably a mistake that probably more new business owners make, maybe not somebody that's seasoned, hopefully, because even from a bookkeeping standpoint, that just makes things a mess and a nightmare.
It does. Yeah, I mean, there's really a million reasons. And yeah, usually if somebody comes to me and we're talking about it, I usually get, oh, I don't have a business bank account. Okay. I'm like, well, you really need to get on that. And then they're like, yeah, my tax keeper, my bookkeeper, they've been telling me for months and months. So yeah, I mean, usually they're going to run into that at some point. So yeah, it's usually not really seasoned business owners, but I do still see where the seasoned business owners don't want to use credit at all. They still just use their bank account and
really
not leverage the credit like they can. So
yeah. And I would imagine that you have to deal with, just because of the work that I do with mindset, like money, and there's probably a lot of other obstacles that people are dealing with mentally.
Yeah.
Mindset wise, in regards to that, what kind of things have you seen? I'm just curious, like what kind of things do you see with that?
I think it mostly has to do with the fear of debt.
Okay.
But I mean, I know you said money loves speed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, you got to be on top of, if you have a chance to grow your business, you want to have the funds and stuff available to be able to go ahead and do what you need to do to get to the next level. Like, there's like a saying that they always say, you don't want to wait to apply for credit till you really, really need it, because you want to be able to have that there available.
Right.
And I'm not saying to go open hundreds of $1,000s in credit debt, but you want to be able to apply for credit when you don't necessarily have to have it, so that when you need it, you can reach back and get it to promote your business. So that's probably the most of what I see. And like I said, the not keeping things separate. And so with the mindset, I'll get to it later. Procrastination. There you go.
Right. Procrastination, maybe.
The business owners are so busy, right? So it's just like, I'll do that later. I'll do this later. I'll do that later. And then before you know it, it's like, now you got a big mess on your hands.
Yeah. And it's so important because, I mean, was me in the past. I mean, and just being really brutally honest, is I didn't like to look at my numbers. Like, I just wanted to go out and get sales, go out and do the thing. I didn't want to have to mess with any of that. And my, the credit was always good, but I could see where if it wasn't, and you weren't paying attention to that, and you tended to only you're the big extrovert and you like to go out and, be around people and not really just do sales, just do your thing or whatever it is. And really ignoring those numbers, that can really catch up with you too.
Yeah. I was talking to a business owner just yesterday, and he was saying, he's like, I like to do in my business what I like to do, and I don't like to do what I don't like to do. And I think every business owner is like that. So, and tracking is important in a business, and it's not fun. I don't think I know anybody that likes to sit down and track all their numbers, but I guess unless they're super exponential, I guess you can't wait to track your numbers. But I put that off for a little while as well. But tracking my numbers is very important to me. It gives you a better understanding of your business as a whole. You get to know where you are and know where you want to get. You can't get to where you want to be unless you know what that number is.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, it all ties into your business goals, and if you're wanting to get to other levels in your business, you have to know the numbers, and you have to be aware of the debt or the investments. I like to use the word investments when it comes to business.
Yes.
Because, that's different than personal debt.
Right. It really is investment. I mean, you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah, you do. And as my coach tells me, or she said so wisely a while back, is that money buys speed. So whatever you're needing, go get that, because it'll speed things up, and then you'll make more money and you can pay that off.
Yeah.
So good stuff. So what do you do to stay motivated? We talked about this a little bit before. So
Yeah.
I know.
I told you I have a Post-it on my computer that says smile. So it reminds me throughout the day when I look down at it to smile, because I'll catch myself getting caught up and doing whatever I'm doing. And then I, take a look at that. I also got a couple notes on my computer for my kids. So just like little notes that they have written me. So I like to keep that kind of stuff nearby. I got pictures of them on the wall by my desk. And then, if you get too scattered too, I like to just leave get out of the office, I like to go, if it's nice out, I'll go for a walk. I'm lucky to have these great paths in my neighborhood. So I'll just go we call it the loop. Actually, there's a path that goes, and it's just goes, and we have we have a covered bridge, which is only like one of 3 in Missouri. It's right by my house.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll do that. And it's just like a 15-minute walk to do that loop. And it's maybe 3/4 of a mile or so. So I'll do that, or I'll go take a few minutes and meditate. Meditate is definitely helpful. It's kind of funny, people, like, oh, meditate, but really it does really help.
It's huge.
So.
It's huge. Yeah. I used to be a resistor, and now it's just so valuable.
Right.
It's very valuable. And there's different levels of meditation. So I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not
an expert.
No, me either. But there's so much value in that, and calming, and
you just gotta find
to refocus.
A good space. You got to find a good space for that, though. You got to go somewhere where it's not too bright, it's quiet, or at least for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
and I would imagine, just because of the nature of what you do, because people are probably, the people that are coming to you are probably stressed, right? I would think they are, because money's such a huge, you think about that. I mean, it can affect relationships. I mean, a while back, it was like the #1 reason for a divorce.
Oh yeah.
Like money problems.
Yeah. Totally see that.
So
speaking on divorce itself, a large percentage of my business comes from divorce and business owners generally. So, that goes, being a business owner is stressful. It can impact your credit. Divorce can definitely do that, because you can see how divorce would, somebody's supposed to pay something. It can be done on purpose or on accident when it comes to divorce. I've seen both. So.
Right. Yeah. And my whole point in saying all that is, when you're dealing with people that are stressed, and, they've got, these things going on in their lives, it's important for you to also, be able to do what you do, and go meditate and go take a walk and get yourself centered again.
Because when I talk to people, I don't want to be projecting any of that on them. Yes, of course. So, we want to look at the bright side of, what it's going to be after you get to the other side of, where your credit is, and let you know that this can be rebuilt and redone, and it's not going to, it doesn't have to affect your life forever. Where you are right now is not where you have to be, in 6-12 months. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And giving them that hope that you give them is, I would imagine, what keeps them going and taking the actions to fix it.
Yeah. So I actually had somebody that signed up this week, and her story is quite impactful. Went through a divorce, wants to sell her house, has equity in it, and she's stuck. She can't get anywhere to live. You can't rent, can't get an apartment. She can't buy a new house because her credit was wrecked in her divorce. But she's lucky to have somewhere to live, but she needs to move out of that place, but doesn't have anywhere to go. Has no family in town.
Wow.
She's like, I have no choice. Like, I need help. So as to be able to help people like that is, fulfilling for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, any other tips? Like, what if you could tell a business owner, entrepreneur, they're starting, or let's say they've been in business for a while, if you could give them a piece of advice, what would it be?
Get your personal credit in order.
Okay.
It's going to affect everything in your business to help it grow and scale at some point, in some time, some aspect. And it really affects everything else. Having bad credit is literally like setting cash on fire and then throwing it out the window. I can't think of a better analogy than that. And I hate to say it that way, but really it is. So if you're losing money on all these aspects because your credit is low, when it can be, that's something that you have the power to improve. It's priceless.
Absolutely.
So, use it to your advantage even.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid of it because you can change it. Right.
Exactly.
This is perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So where can people connect with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, of course, at Defend Your Cred actually is the, if you search it, or if you just put Credit Defenders in Google, I'll pop up. So it's www.defendyourcred.com. Yeah, so that's the best ways to find me, is find me on my website or on Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you. I want to thank you again for being on today. There was lots of value here. And I know like money's always an issue. And I think that it's an important issue that people need to get more comfortable with. So I appreciate you being on today. And for our listeners, go check out Jackie. Go check her out, because if it's not for you, you probably know someone that might need her. So thanks again for being on today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Are you ready to break through the barriers that are holding you back and reach a higher level in your business in just 4 hours? Be sure to click the link today and join other high-achieving professionals that have worked with Kimberly Lebbing to accelerate their success.